Hello, this is Mike with Trade Winds RV Center, here to congratulate you on your 2021 Jayflight 264 BH travel trailer. I'm going to walk you around it, show you how to use a few things so you can get the best out of your camping experience. I'll start by talking about arriving at the campsite, a couple things to think about when you're parking. On your campsite, I want you to leave plenty of room for that awning. On your off campsite, I want you to think about where your power and water connections are going to be. They're both going to be right above your tires on your driver's side of your tow vehicle or off camp side. Power there, water connection there. So park accordingly so you can utilize the facilities at the campsite. Once we arrive, we'll unhook our hitch and level our unit by using our power tongue jack. It does have a night docking light should you arrive at night. Simply lower or raise the unit until it's level. Your door is about in the middle of the unit. Good place to put a short level, or just go ahead and throw one right there on your A-frame bar right there. Get the unit level. Now, should you lose power, I want you to know that underneath this rubber stopper here, one of the two hand cranks you've got will get onto a bolt in there and get this up and down without power. Speaking of power, check your battery posts every now and then. Make sure nothing's wiggled loose over time. Once we got our unit level, next thing we're going to do is stabilize it. All four corners of the unit have these scissor stabilizing jacks, any 3/4 inch hand crank that'll go on them. You can use a drill gun. I just recommend slowing down when you get to the bottom, because we already have it level. We don't want to change that. We just want to stabilize it. Get yourself some stabilizing jack pads. Jack pads will protect the feet of your stabilizing jacks. Keep them from sinking into the hot blacktop of some of these campsites. Now run them down just until it's taut. Once you've got some resistance on this hand crank, you don't want to do any more, because then it's going to change your level. So get all four of those down. 2 in the front, 2 in the back. Got our unit level, stable. Now we can hook up our power and water. Your big long 30 amp cord actually stores inside here. When you're done here, you just push it right back up inside there. Leave the head here so you can pull it back out when you're done. You can close that. At the end of that 30 amp service, should you need it, in your convenience pack will be a 30 to 15 amp reducer. So you can plug into a 110 if you need to. Get your power hooked up. Let's do your water. At campsites, you will hook up to city water connection. Grab yourself a water pressure regulator. The one that comes in your convenience pack will reduce the water pressure to 40 to 50 psi. Protecting the lines in your unit. You don't know what the water pressure is at different campsites, so always use these. Hook that up. Hook up your hose. One more step before you turn that hose on. Let's find your hot water heater. Yours is located on the campsite at the rear, and all we're doing at this point is make sure your drain plug's back on there. Get your plug back on there, get that on there nice and tight, then you can go ahead and turn that hose on. After that hose has been on for a few minutes, we're going to go inside, open up our sinks, our showers, get a nice steady flow of water going through everything, all the air out of the lines, shut them off, and you're all set to camp. Now let's say we're going to go dry camping. In that case, come back over to our off camp side again. Toward the front here is where you'll fill up your freshwater tank. Potable water only. No need for a water pressure regulator here. You can just gravity fill this with a hose. 2 ways to tell it's full. One, there's an overflow valve right here, or 2 on the inside where you check the levels of your black dry tanks. There's also a freshwater button. Don't leave this unattended while you're filling that. Don't just throw the hose in there and walk away. Keep an eye on that while you're filling it. Once it is full, go ahead and put this cap on there. And then whenever you want to utilize that water, you'll go ahead and turn on your water pump. Don't turn on your water pump and hook the city water. That's already pressurized. One more thing you might want to check before filling up your freshwater. Make sure your freshwater drain is closed back up. That'll drain when you leave the campsite, so make sure that's closed back up before you start filling it. All right, we're all set to camp with power and water. I'm gonna walk you around the rest of the unit. Off campsite, big pass-through storage area, big water hose that we give you. Coming back down this side, there's a flue for your furnace. A few things on that. One, make sure it's never blocked. 2, if you are running your furnace, steer clear of that. It says hot 4 times for a reason. They get hot. And lastly, you might want to invested a bug guard for those, because mud wasps like those as homes. Freshwater drain. Those are condensation hoses. Your fridge is probably behind there, or your sink. Up here is going to be your hood range vent. Again, city water connection, our power. You got an outdoor shower with hot and cold water. Black tank flush, we'll talk about that when we leave the campsite and dump our black and gray tanks. There's also low point drains underneath there. Right there, those two handles there. We'll dump those when leaving the campsite. Plug in cable at the campsites right here. There's your rear stabilizing jacks where those are at. You got cover for your spare tire, that's important. That keeps that from dry rotting in the sun. Keep that on there. You're prepped for a backup camera. No ladder on this, but get up on the roof several times a year. There's a completely walkable roof. Get up there several times a year. Check the seams of your roof and caulk as needed with recommended RV roofing caulk. Coming over to your campsite, again, your hot water heater. That will close up with that back up. Nice little storage area. On your awning, this does have a pitch control. You got light rain, you can pitch this down and run the rain water this way. However, I'm not a big fan of that. I'm a fan of any rain, bring it in. The awnings are great for shade. Usually rain means wind. Wind is the enemy of shades, so that's why I like to bring them in. 110 and cable in case you want to put a TV outside. There's a puck, a mounting system that you can put on a small TV that'll snap right onto that puck right there. Continue down your campsite. On the back of your door is a latch that will hold your door open. Just make sure you unlatch that before just swinging your door open. There's all your hitch work. There actually is a level on your unit, so go ahead and use that. Up front, your propane does come with a cover. It's on a regulator. Just lefty-loosey to open. Point it toward the tank you wish to be using. I like to go one tank at a time. That way I know how much I've got left. About covers everything out here. Let's go take a look on the inside. First thing I always point out is your fire extinguisher coming up beside the unit. Make sure you and everyone that's camping with you knows the fire extinguisher is located by the entry doorway in case of an emergency. Up ahead of that, behind your dinette here, is your 12-volt carbon monoxide propane detector. The reason I mention that's 12 volt, that's always running off your battery. So if you are out dry camping, you're going to be gone for the entire day. Disconnect your battery to keep this from running your battery down. Your awning controls here. On your awning, you only want to run that awning out until that flap falls down. You can see that bar. If I were to hold out down, that would continue to run out, keep rolling, flip up onto itself, and start to roll itself up backwards. So keep an eye on it when you run it out. Make sure you don't run it out further than you need to. The awning lights out there. They're controlled right here, and our interior lights here. With our awning in, I'll tell you these doors work best when gently slammed. Coming inside, you're prepped for a TV here. There's your backer, cable and 110. That green light with this little button there, that is your radio and TV antenna. So make sure that's on before you run your digital channel scan. Plug that into the back of the TV. Sound system, AM, FM, Bluetooth. Not really going to pick up much in here, but indoor and outdoor speakers. Touch that for mute. Hold it to shut it off. Come right to your thermostat. We're going to go 3 settings. There's your fan, AC, which I crank up. AC has a quick dump. Super hot in the kitchen, you want to blast that. Or when you close that, you get more air through your vents. And remember, these vents, you can move them. So turn them and point them to wherever you're at so you actually get some air. Now you will notice when I cycle through to off, past furnace to off, generally those shut off rather quickly. Make me out to be a liar. Oh, there it goes. All right. But now the heat, crank the furnace up. Got that on 80. I wonder where my return is. I hear it here. Now, you can hear me shut the furnace off. The furnace is so quiet. We shut that off. It will take 2 to 3 minutes for that fan to cycle through before it actually shuts off. Our bunk system, charging ports, air up there in them bunks. Emergency escape window where it says a big exit there. That's a window that you can actually push right on out. You'll lift up on the screen and push that out. Rip the screen out and get up out of here in case of emergency. Plumbing. Here in the kitchen. It's almost all PEX nowadays. Even back when this was made. Just keep an eye on it. If you travel a lot in this, you're bouncing this up and down the road, just get in here and make sure nothing's wiggled loose. Moisture is the enemy of your unit. Alright, our bathroom. We do have a hand crank open. Power exhaust. Lighting here. When you arrive at the campsite, flush this several times. Put a couple gallons of water into your black tank. Your black tank will thank you later when you put solids into it. Access to plumbing underneath your bathtub there. 110 there. Come up to our fridge. Norcold fridge. You turn this on here. One through 5, 5 being the coldest. Turn it back down here. So whatever's lit up here is what you're controlling. Right now we were doing the freezer. Switch over to the fridge. That's down to 3. And then this is night mode. That's telling the fridge, I'm not going to be opening and closing you a lot. Save me energy. And somehow it does. Down below your fridge is your breaker box and fuses. I got a handful of 15s, several of them, and a couple of 40s. Highly recommend having those with you when you go camping. A self-explanatory microwave. Down below that, a light and fan above your cooktop. Cooktop makes a nice backsplash. Turn on your panel light, but rock that up. Turn that to light, hit your spark. That's how all those light up. So now, same thing on the oven. You would turn this to pilot. There's a flame on there. Hit the spark here. Get down in there and make sure that the pilot light lit. And then turn this to your desired temperature. Again, plumbing access underneath here. Keep an eye on that. The control panel here shows the level of your battery, fresh, black, and gray tanks. One thing on your battery, note that when that is plugged in, that's always going to show a full battery. So unplug it if you want to see the actual battery level. Here's where you turn on your water pump to get to the fresh water. It's also the button I told you to hold down while you're filling your fresh water. Water heater. And water heater gas here, water heater electric. Choose correctly because it does make a difference. This will jackknife down. Access to your furnace. Coming back into our bedroom. A couple things I want to mention in here. Make sure that this door is snapped open for travel, so it's not bouncing all over the place. Again, the same type of puck system. You want to get one of those mounts, holler to people at our store, get 1 or 2 of those mounts. You could get one and have the same TV snap off here to take outdoors. Cable system there. This is where it's pre-wired for solar. Keep that on there in case you ever want to have this in solar. Here's a nice little night light and storage under your bed. That is accessible by outdoors, so again, make sure that you lock your outdoor storage. In other words, it's like leaving your front door open. Alright, that about covers everything in here. Let's act like we're leaving the campsite and close the unit up. Most of this lighting in this unit is what they call one touch. One touch to shut it off. I like to come to my control panel, shut off my lights, and then I can see whatever lights are left on. It's going to be my responsibility to walk through and shut off so they're not on when I'm traveling down the roads. So all the interior lights off. I'll come back to the control center, control panel, turn the lights on, and say doors and drawers. Just make sure all doors and drawers are closed. Nothing's going to be bouncing around during travel. Shut our lights off and exit the unit. Now before you leave the dump station, and I say that because you're going to want to be inside there checking the levels of your tanks when you're dumping. But after you leave the dump station, lock, deadbolt, lift and turn that handle. That's how you want that to travel. Alright, dry camping or at a campsite, we're going to bring up all of our stabilizing jacks. For our dry camping, we're going to get up underneath the freshwater here, dump that freshwater drain, and head on home to the nearest dump station, whatever we're in need of. If we're at a campsite, again, bring up your stabilizing jacks, unhook our water, our power, our cable, hook up our hitch, and head on up to the dump station. Dump station park accordingly. Your dump is all the way at the rear of the unit on your driver's side of your tow vehicle. Arrive, you got a 10-foot hose coming to your convenience pack. Hook both ends up and pull your black holding tank. Now that's going to be your sewage. And that sounds like it's no longer draining. Grab the hose at the dump station, not a drinking hose, and hook it up to this flush tank valve. Leaving that handle open, turn that hose on and let that wash that nastiness out of your black tank. It's going to turn on a sprayer in your black tank. Let that run for a good 5 minutes. It's going to wash it out really good. Remove that hose. Make sure all that washout water you put in there drains. Then close your black and pull your gray. Now while my grays are draining, get up underneath there, dump your low point drains. If you're not going to be camping for a while, don't want to leave stagnant water in your hot water heater, come back over here. First, lift up on this pressure release valve. Now be careful, so a little hot water is going to come out of there. Then push that down. Then you can remove your drain plug for the little bit of residual water that'll be in there. When that gray is done, close up that gray, take the sewage hose, and conveniently and sanitarily store it right here in your bumper and head on home. We thank you guys so much for your purchase. Hope you enjoy this Jayflight for many years to come. Happy camping.